Hey everyone, welcome back to Ontario Gardening. So it has been, I think, a couple weeks at this point. I've been super busy. 'Tis the season. I finally wrapped up the rest of what's in the garden, got my asparagus cut down. You guys seen a video for that, just showing you how to do that. And yeah, I've been mulching, making amendments. You know how that all goes. So anyways, I had big plans. I was going to show you how to make like homemade gingerbread, homemade eggnog, just really do some homemade cooking. And of course, the time got away from me, so I haven't even produced a video at all. And here we are. So sorry about that. I had some really good stuff too. I was going to show you how to use like your old seed catalogs to wrap gifts, but maybe next year. I will keep that in mind. Hopefully there's a next year for me and our season and we can show you that. So anyways, I just wanted to discuss moving forward what Ontario gardening is going to look like. My YouTube videos are going to be the same, so they're going to be tutorials on canning and preserving and garden stuff, all that kind of fun stuff. I've got some different topics I want to discuss moving forward in the spring, especially for like new gardeners and stuff. We're going to talk about like raised beds versus in-ground beds, the no-till method, things like that, stuff we haven't really discussed before. But I have decided, and the reason I've kind of been a little bit busy, I've decided to kind of launch a little bit into, just very lightly, just very softly, into selling some of my stuff that I'm making here on my homestead, in my little suburban homestead. And of course that comes with health regulations and stuff. So every place has their cottage laws, is what they call them. So basically what you can and cannot sell to the public, you know, just rules and regulations on like cooking in the kitchen and stuff. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of kind of hoops you have to jump through just to make sure that the product that we're selling to our consumers is safe. You know, no one's gonna come back at us for any reason. So we've just kind of been investigating that and getting approvals for that. And so yeah, we're gonna be diving into that. So I'm gonna start. I'm not gonna go crazy. So for those of you who don't know me or have missed it in previous videos, I work outside of the home. My spouse and I both work in healthcare, 40 hours a week. So there's not a whole lot of time to be launching side businesses. So this is going to be a very simple, you know, we're going to start on Facebook with a Facebook page and a Facebook group, and you know, test a couple things, see if it works. We're going to do seasonal items. So, you know, when fall comes around, we'll do some fall tea blends. And my main focus is to not get out of hand with chemicals and crap and other store-bought stuff and selling it here. My focus is making quality products for my consumer that is coming out of my garden. So I want to be self-sustainable in doing those things. So my plan to kind of get myself started is I'm going to sell sourdough starter. So I'm going to sell it as a dry dehydrated sourdough starter that you can rehydrate yourself at home and make your own starter and start making your own bread. So that's something that I can do on my own, in my own kitchen, and you know, pass that on. I'm going to try doing some canned goods. So I'm not going to go crazy and sell like everything that I've ever made or all the stuff that I make all the time. It's going to be very limited and specific to things that I can get out of my garden. So one thing that people love to grab from me all the time off my shelf from my personal stash, I'm talking to you, mother-in-law, is my zucchini relish. And everyone that I meet and that tries it goes nuts over it. And so that is directly from my garden. Almost everything except for the vinegar and the turmeric in there is from my own garden. So that would be something that I am proud of, and I know where the food is coming from. I know how it's grown. I know that it's organic as it can be. I'm not going to do certified organic because you can't, like, that's a whole other ball game. Even when you're buying from the store, certified organic, it's a whole realm. I'm not going to get into that, but the moral of the story is I know that it's grown without pesticides and chemicals. I know how it's prepared, and I can feel good about canning these things up and selling these products to the people that I know and in my community safely. So anyways, the of the story is we're starting that, and it's been busy. It's been, making plans and sourcing out little things like the packaging that it's going to go into. What does that look like? How do I make this economical? How do I make it financially responsible so that, how many businesses do you know that go in full force and I don't want to say fail miserably, but they're in the red. Everybody's in the red. Let's be real. Any business that's started for the first at least year, you're in the red. I just don't want to be pouring out a bunch of money out this door, especially with the prices of canning jars and the prices of a lot of different things. I don't want to be selling myself short, and I don't want to be going into a deficit to do this. So a lot of research into, I don't want to say competition because to me it's not a competition. I am more than happy for my neighbor that's also selling that zucchini relish. It's not a competition, it's a community, and I am happy for everybody doing it, but I want to make sure that I'm not selling myself short, and I don't want to be like undersold or oversold. So it's a lot of searching around. So anyways, that's what's new for us. So we're not going to be on Facebook for the page, and I'm really excited because I have like the craziest ideas too. Some out of the box things like watermelon jerky. So I did a tutorial on that, I think last summer, and everybody I talked to, no one's ever heard of that. So I think it would be so cool to dehydrate some watermelon candy for people and get that out the door. There's just some things I'm like super excited about. I do have, my phone is currently recording, but I have some ideas about like even like simmer pots or like potpourri, using things out of my garden. I'm going to focus this year on and I did last year, and I think you guys have heard that in a separate video. I focused a lot on growing herbs because I wanted to live with chronic illness myself. So I really was focusing, it was my healing summer, and I'm going to continue that into the next year. And I'm going to be focusing on growing herbs and stuff that I can use in like my oils and my salves and my tinctures, not only for myself anymore, but now for you guys as well. So yeah, I don't expect to be making an arm and a leg on this. I do not plan on quitting my job anytime soon. This is not supplementing anything. This is not like going to be like, this is our, dream vacation. I mean, it's nothing like that. I know that it's not going to be, first of all, we're never going to be on a scale like that. We don't have a commercial kitchen. It's not going to be a commercial selling where I'm like doing craft markets and stuff like that. I don't have the time. I really don't have the will, if we're being honest. I just want to have a little bit of fun with it. A lot of the people that follow me ask me questions and would love to try it, but don't have the time or the means or the space. And so I would love to be that person that can bring it to them and have fun doing it. Another thing I want to focus on in the springtime is I'm going to be making star plants. I'm so excited for this. So I have this big greenhouse upstairs. You've been in it before. It's nothing spectacular. It's an Amazon, one of those big Amazon tent ones. And I start my own seeds in there. I've started seeds for neighbors in there. I've started seeds for family in there, and friends. So I'm going to this year actually sell them. So I would love to sell them at a fraction of a cost. Now, let's be honest. I'm losing you here. So let's be honest. I have saved a lot of seeds. I have a ton of seeds. So I have learned to save my own seeds from each year. Sorry, I'm kind of on a ramble here, but just want to fill you guys in on what's going on around here. So I pretty much have all these seeds that have cost me nothing. They might have cost me something 3 summers ago when I initially bought the package, but every year I grow and every year I save. So I'm going to look into actually selling seeds as well. I have like an abundance of certain seeds because I save them every year. So, I save all of the seeds off the inside of my tomatoes. I save a whole round of beans at the end of the year. So I would really like to, hopefully, if I can sell beans or sell seeds, I just have to make sure that that is legal and in my area, and that doesn't, I know the plants are good and I'm excited about those. I just have to see about the seeds. But yeah, so lots of plans. Again, it's not going to be under Ontario's gardening on Facebook. And the reason for that is, one, there's already an Ontario gardening like group. It's like a discussion board and stuff like that. And two, I live in Ontario's garden. So I live in Norfolk, and it's literally one of those things, like, you know how you drive into like Las Vegas and there's the Las Vegas sign. So literally as you drive into my town, it says, "Welcome to Norfolk, Ontario's garden." So I just don't want there to be any confusion. And I just kind of want to give it a little bit more of like a personal flair, a personal touch than just Ontario's garden. So name to be decided. That is pending. I will fill you in when it happens. I have lots of work to do. I'm just trying to get through Christmas and do all that kind of stuff, get through that, and then I'm going to really plug away on it in the new year. And I'm hoping to have everything launched by like February. So that would be nice to have, because then I'm going to start with the plants. And now if anybody on here has any tips for me, I am more than willing to hear those. Not so much tips on, like, I have ideas on what I want to sell and stuff that I would feel good about. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be times where I'm going to have to outsource certain things. So like if I'm making a tea, for example, and I'm making like a chamomile tea, I can do the chamomile and I can do the lavender, but there might be like one ingredient in there that I have to outsource to complete the whole tea. It's the same with like oils. So I have like lavender oil that's going to be on there, calendula oil, and I'm going to turn those into salves, but I don't make my own avocado oil or olive oil. So I'm going to have to source that. And I'm really going to be researching and trying to make that again as organic as possible, as clean as possible, clean chemicals from good companies, and yeah, really make a product that I'm proud of sending out the door. It's not just for profit. Not everything is for profit. This whole journey that I have been on with gardening and preserving and all that stuff, you know, how many times have you spent like $80 to get like a setup going for starting seeds, and for a $2 tomato plant? Really? So it's not necessarily always about where our food's coming from. And anyways, I'm not going to go off on that tangent again, but if anybody has any advice on, like I said, not so much on what I'm selling, my concern or my advice would be with the plant selling. How do you, like, do you do pre-orders? So my plan is with the, and this is my idea, and I'm just going off on the whim here, just having this discussion with these guys and being vulnerable and having these open discussions. My plan is to just make what I have for canning, and basically under each thing be like, okay, zucchini relish, 10 available. And every time I sell one, update my inventory on the page and kind of keep doing that way. My thought was with the plants, like, I don't want to grow, 52 tomato plants and find out that 10 people are backing out. And now I'm left with 52 tomato plants or an abundance of tomato plants left over. I mean, of course I can donate them, but it does take time. It does take space in my greenhouse. It does take soil, and it does take seeds, and it does take containers. So there is some cost going into it. So yeah, my question just is, like, if anybody has done plant sales in the past, or if they have ever sold like via Facebook or like any other type of platform, how is it that you guys do that? Is it like a pre-order, pay up front? And that's where I'm kind of reluctant to take people's money until I know that plant is going to germinate. I don't know. I mean, for my own personal garden, if I'm planting, a beefsteak tomato, I'm planting three or four seeds. I'm going to germinate them all. If I have extra at the end, cool. But at least it gives me a 4 times chance that something's going to sprout, that I'm going to put it in my garden, versus just one. I don't want to put all my hope and faith into one seed and then it doesn't sprout, it doesn't germinate, and now I'm down that tomato. I would rather have, and then just give the seedlings away after. I don't know. Thoughts, opinions, experience, more than welcome here. But yeah, wait for that video. The only other thing to tell you guys, I can do a separate video on it, but I guess if you've listened so far, here's your news first. I'm going to do a Canuary season. So right now is the time where there's not a lot of gardening stuff to be done. I mean, you can do your indoor gardening and whatnot, but right now there's not a lot of garden advice to be told. Everything's quiet. The garden slumbers where I am. We're reading seed catalogs, getting ready to buy some seeds after Christmas. So yeah, right now, not a lot going on, but we can still do some canning. So in January, I'm going to do Canuary. See what I did there? It's not original. I didn't make that up. But I'm going to do a Canuary series using things that not are necessarily in your area. So for example, one of the things I'm going to do is a pina colada jam. I can't grow pineapple where I am, and I can't grow coconut. So those are two things you would have to go to the grocery store to get anyways. And you can can them up and make something. I'm also going to do like a caramel. I don't have access to in my backyard, in my suburban backyard, to get milk and make caramel, but that's something you can get at the grocery store and whip it up into something different. So basically what Canuary is and what I'm focusing on is stuff that you can still can up in the winter just by getting stuff from your grocery store. If you're in a place where you can grow coconut and pineapple, awesome for you. You're going to be able to do this fresh. But anyways, I thank you for sitting here with me, listening to me yap for the last, 16 minutes. I hope you continue to stay along into 2024. If I don't make another video before Christmas, which I probably won't considering today is, the 15th, 14th, I probably won't. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I thank you so much for joining us this 2023 season. I hope I have helped somebody along the way on their gardening journey to either have learned something new or, start from scratch. Hopefully I inspired somebody to grow their own food and to take those steps into becoming more self-sustainable, even if you, like myself, are in a small little suburban backyard. So again, thank you from Ontario Gardening, from my family to yours. Happy holidays, and we will see you in 2024.